We're talking about a coin that's been hiding in plain sight, the 1979 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. Yes, you heard me right, this penny could make you a millionaire. Stay with me because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what to look for, how to check if you've got one, and how you can cash in on this rare treasure hiding in your pocket change. But, before we dive into the details, let's start with a powerful question. It all started back in 1979. In the midst of the Carter presidency, the U.S. Mint was working on a regular issue of Lincoln 1-cent coins, nothing out of the ordinary. But unbeknownst to most of us, in 1979, a rare and unusual minting error occurred at the Denver Mint. Some of these pennies were accidentally struck with two different designs, a mistake that's worth more than your average coin. You see, many of these pennies were supposed to be minted with the standard Lincoln design, but there was a rare few that were released with an error mint mark. That D mint mark on the 1979 penny? It's more valuable than you think. Now, you may be thinking, how much is this really worth? I can tell you, a 1979 D penny in mint condition could fetch as much as $695,000 at auction. Yes, you heard that right. A penny, that cost just 1 cent back in the day, is now worth nearly $700,000. The possibilities are mind-blowing. Now, don't go rushing to your piggy bank just yet. If you find your pennies in a jar of change, you might have some dusting off to do. But hey, even a penny that's been in your pocket for decades could have the potential to make you a fortune. But here's the catch. Finding the 1979 D Mint Mark penny with the error is not easy. And I'll bet you didn't even know about this rare coin until now. But don't panic. That's exactly why we're here today. The hunt for value, let's get down to business. So, how do you find out if your penny is worth $695,000? First, let's talk about how to spot the 1979 D Mint Mark penny with the error. It's not about just looking for any 1979 penny, it's about finding the distinctive mint mark that was struck incorrectly at the Denver Mint. First, you need to check the mint mark. The 1979 D penny has a D mint mark, but the error coins have misaligned designs that can make the D appear unusually heavy or mispositioned. And this is where the magic happens. Most of these pennies look like your standard everyday coin, but the error makes them incredibly rare and valuable. But wait, there's more. Some of these error pennies were also struck with double dies, meaning that you might spot double lettering or doubling in the design. This is even rarer and can add a significant premium to the value of your coin. I know, you're probably thinking, I'm going to need a magnifying glass for every penny I find now. Don't worry, you won't need a magnifying glass for every coin, just the ones you think could be the lucky ones. Now, don't just take my word for it. The demand for these rare error pennies has skyrocketed in recent years, and it's only getting hotter. Some collectors are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for these 1979 D coins, and if you have one, it could be your ticket to a new lifestyle. Picture this. Imagine selling just one of your rare 1979 D Mint Mark error pennies and suddenly unlocking a life of financial freedom. What would that feel like? Imagine paying off your debts, buying your dream home, or finally taking that vacation you've been putting off for years. It's not just about the money, it's about the opportunity. That coin in your hand could open doors you never imagined. Don't wait for someone else to find it first. Act now. But here's the thing, time is of the essence. If you don't act quickly, these rare pennies could disappear into private collections, and you'll miss out on the chance to sell them at the highest price possible. The demand for these error coins is growing, and you need to strike while the iron is hot. So, how do you cash in on your treasure? First, take a close-up look at your pennies. If you find a 1979 D penny with an error, get it professionally appraised and auction it to the highest bidder. This is your chance to turn your old change into a small fortune. But, before we wrap up, I've got a little surprise for you. Stick around until the end, and I'll share with you a secret strategy to maximize the value of your rare coins, and how you can do this with pennies that might be worth even more than the 1979 error. Don't go anywhere. If you're ready to turn your pennies into a fortune, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, so you never miss an update on rare coin discoveries. I'll see you in the next video, where your treasure hunt continues. What if I told you there's a penny sitting in your jar, in your drawer, or even buried in your couch cushions, worth more than some people's homes? You might think I'm crazy, but stay with me, because this rare penny could be worth a staggering $695,000. Yes, you heard that right. Almost $700,000 for a single coin. Now, are you ready to discover if you've got one of these hidden treasures? You'll want to stick around, because what we're about to uncover could change your life forever. You might be wondering, how could a penny, something you probably toss aside without a second thought, be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? It's not just any penny. It's the elusive 1978 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. The coin that shouldn't even exist. Let's rewind for a second. In 1978, the U.S. Mint produced Lincoln pennies at multiple locations, and each coin typically had a mint mark to show where it was made. But, for a rare and mysterious reason, a batch of pennies was struck that had no mint mark at all. Now, these unmarked pennies are so rare that they've defied the odds, and defied the experts, too. It's like winning the coin lottery, but what makes this penny so special? Is it the mystery behind its creation? The scarcity of it? Or is it simply a matter of luck? Stick with me, because we're just getting started. Now, imagine finding this exact penny in your collection. What would you do? I mean, $695,000 is life-changing money. It's not just pocket change. It's enough to retire, travel the world, or build a legacy. But here's the thing, this isn't just some urban myth or coin collector's fantasy. The market for these rare pennies is real, and the demand is only growing. People are willing to pay astronomical sums to own a piece of history. But how can you know if your penny is worth a fortune? Let's dive deeper into the details. First off, how do you spot a 1978 no-mint mark penny? You might be holding one and not even realize it. It's all in the details. Unlike regular pennies, these are missing the mint mark, which is usually located just beneath Abraham Lincoln's shoulder on the reverse side. Without that mark, this coin is a needle in a haystack. Now, you might be thinking, sure, sounds easy enough, but how many of these coins could there really be? Well, that's the mystery. Experts are still unsure exactly how many of these rare pennies were minted, but estimates suggest that only a handful of these coins ever made it into circulation. So, your odds of finding one? Slim to none, but don't let that discourage you just yet, because there's one more twist to this coin story. What makes this coin even more valuable is something strange. There are reports of collectors finding these pennies in mint condition, even though they've been in circulation for decades. Could these rare, untouched coins be hidden in plain sight? Maybe even in your own collection, you pull open a dusty old jar of pennies from your attic. Among the rusted and worn-out coins, there it is, your golden ticket. The one coin that could change everything. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Even if you think you've already checked, you might have missed it, because this coin isn't just rare in its mint mark. There's something else you need to know about it, and this could be the reason you've never sold it, or even thought about its value. Here's the kicker, the value of the 1978 no-mint mark penny isn't just about rarity. It's also about the right buyer, and there's a frenzy of collectors and investors right now, looking to snap up these coins for prices that will blow your mind. In fact, one of these pennies recently sold at auction for nearly $700,000. That's not a typo. $700,000. For a penny, and that's why, if you have one, you can't waste any time. The market is hot. The collectors are desperate. And if you hold on to that coin for too long, you might just miss out on the perfect buyer, the perfect opportunity. But wait, there's more to the story. What happens if your coin turns out to be one of those incredibly rare specimens, graded in mint condition? The price can go way higher. Some experts say it could even hit $1 million in the right circumstances. So, if you've got one of these rare pennies, you need to act fast. Get it checked by a professional, get it graded, and start thinking about who's going to pay you top dollar. But remember, don't sell to just anyone. It's not just about the price, it's about getting your coin into the right hands, and I know what you're thinking: how do I find out if my coin is worth this much? That's exactly what we'll reveal in just a moment, but first, let me ask you this: could it be that your coin is worth more than you ever imagined? And if so, are you ready to make the sale of a lifetime? So don't wait. The clock is ticking. The world of rare coins moves fast, and the next big payday could be right around the corner. You owe it to yourself to check those pennies. And if you're lucky enough to find one of these rarities, don't hesitate, get it valued, get it graded, and get ready to make the sale that could transform your life, because once you know the true value of what you're holding, there's no going back. You'll have the power to live the life you've always dreamed of. So what are you waiting for? What if I told you that a single penny, yes, a 2017 P Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, could be worth millions of dollars? Imagine walking into a store, handing over a coin worth less than $1, and walking out with $695,000 in your pocket. Seems unbelievable, right? Well, stay with me, because the coin you might be holding could be worth more than your car, more than your house. The discovery of the 2017 P Mint Mark penny. It was the year 2017, and the US Mint decided to release a special batch of pennies with the P Mint mark. It was the first time in history they stamped a P on the Lincoln 1-cent coin. At first glance, it might just look like a normal penny, but let's pause for a moment. When was the last time you looked at a penny in your pocket and thought, this could be worth thousands of dollars one day? I mean, honestly, whoever thought pennies could be worth anything, right? But this isn't your average penny. This is a game changer. Now, here's the kicker: most of these pennies were minted in Philadelphia, so you may have one without even realizing it. But here's the secret: due to a production error, some of these pennies didn't get the proper die strikes, making them ultra-rare. Let's talk numbers. Right now, a 2017 P Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny with a blemish-free strike, meaning it wasn't stamped improperly, and the details are perfect, can sell for a staggering $695,000. Yes, you heard that right, $695,000. But here's where it gets even crazier: if your penny happens to have the right imperfections, even a tiny mistake can skyrocket its value. Imagine holding one of these rare pennies in your hand, seeing that flaw, and knowing it could be worth more than your mortgage. It could be the ticket to living the life you've always dreamed of: luxury vacations, debt-free living, financial freedom. But here's the real twist: most people have no idea they have one of these pennies. They're sitting in your change jar, in your couch cushions, or even in your car. You probably never thought twice about that small, seemingly insignificant penny. But it's sitting there, waiting for you to discover its life-changing value. How to identify and sell your penny? Now, let's get down to business. How do you know if you're holding a golden ticket in your hand? Here's what you need to look for. First, check the mint mark. Flip the penny over to the reverse side. If you see a P, congratulations. You're already on the right track. Next, inspect the condition. Is the image of Lincoln sharp and clear? Does it have a pristine finish with no visible scratches or defects? A flawless strike is what sets these pennies apart from the rest. And here's where it gets interesting: some pennies with mistakes are even more valuable. If you find any errors, like off-center strikes or doubling of the numbers, your coin could be worth even more. This is where the big money is made. So, what do you do once you find one of these rare pennies? You don't just throw it in a jar and forget about it. Sell it, but don't sell it to just anyone. You need to find the right buyer. We're talking professional numismatists, rare coin dealers, and auction houses. Don't settle for less than top dollar. But time is of the essence. Rare pennies don't just sit on the market forever. The longer you wait to sell, the less likely you are to get top dollar for your treasure. You need to act fast, before someone else spots your hidden gem. Could this be your moment? Could you be one of the lucky few who finds a 2017 Mint Mark Lincoln penny that changes your life forever? Remember, there's no rush, until there is. Opportunities like this don't come around often, and when they do, you have to be ready. So go ahead, grab that jar of pennies. The treasure might be closer than you think. Who knows, this time next year, you could be living the life of your dreams. Don't let this opportunity slip through your fingers. You've heard the facts, now it's your turn to take action. If you found a 2017 Mint Mark penny, it could be your first step toward financial freedom. And who knows, maybe we'll be talking about your success story next. What if I told you that a single penny you have sitting in your drawer could be worth nearly $700,000? Yes, you heard that right, a penny. A 1976 Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent coin could be hiding in plain sight, worth more than most people make in a lifetime. Stick with me to find out if you're sitting on a small fortune. This could change your life forever. Music transitions to a dramatic, suspenseful beat. We all have that drawer at home, the one filled with loose change, forgotten bills, and coins we don't really pay much attention to. But what if I told you that in that drawer, hidden among the rustling pennies, you could have something worth far more than its face value? This isn't your typical coin story. No, this is about a coin that can turn your financial future upside down. Let's talk about the 1976 Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. For most people, it's just another penny minted during the United States bicentennial year. But for a select few, it's a rare treasure worth a jaw-dropping $695,000. I know it sounds like something out of a treasure hunt, but this is real. And in the next few minutes, you'll find out why this coin is so valuable, how to identify it, and how you can cash in. But first, let's explore what makes this coin so unique. This penny, minted in Denver in 1976, might look ordinary to the untrained eye. It's got the classic Lincoln design, the iconic "In God We Trust" inscription, and the date 1976. But, let's focus on something that sets it apart, that D Mint mark right there. That small, almost invisible letter indicates that this penny was made in Denver, and here's where the mystery deepens. You see, not all 1976 pennies are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. So, what makes the one that's worth $695,000 so special? The answer lies in a huge error, an error so rare that it's as though it was designed for someone like you to find. This penny is part of a very small group of coins where the die used to strike the penny was worn out. What that means is, on some of these pennies, the image of Abraham Lincoln is blurry, and the lettering is distorted. In other words, it's an extremely rare misstrike. Imagine this: you're rummaging through a box of old coins that your grandmother left behind, and you see a 1976 penny, but something doesn't look quite right. The image of Lincoln seems, well, off. You pick it up, you look closer. You see the worn-out features. This could be the one. This tiny mistake, this imperfection, is what makes it worth a fortune. I mean, who knew that an imperfection could make you a millionaire? It's like the coin world's version of the ugly duckling turning into a swan, only in this case, it's an ugly penny turning into a shiny, very valuable one. Now, here's where things get really serious. These pennies are so rare that they don't just pop up every day. There are only a handful of them in existence, and if you happen to find one, it's worth, well, you already know, $695,000 Asterisk, but here's the thing. The longer you wait, the less chance you have of catching this opportunity. Other collectors are out there, actively hunting for rare coins just like this. If you don't act fast, someone else might snatch it up before you even know what you've got. Can you imagine the moment you find out your coin is worth $695,000? Maybe you've been struggling with bills, or dreaming of that vacation you've always wanted. Maybe you've been planning to start your own business. Whatever your dreams are, this could be the key to unlocking them. Hey, you might not be retiring to a private island just yet, but wouldn't it be nice to stop worrying about that next paycheck? The question now is, do you have this penny? The time to act is now. This rare coin could be sitting in your home right now, and you wouldn't even know it. But don't worry, I've got you covered. In the next few seconds, I'll show you exactly how to tell if your coin is worth a fortune, and what steps to take if you find it. So, take a moment to check your change. Take a deep breath, and get ready for a discovery that could change everything. Are you ready to find out if your penny is worth a fortune? Don't wait, time is ticking. Music fades out. We're talking about the 1970 Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that's been hiding in plain sight for decades, and it's worth far more than you think. You're probably wondering, how could something so small, so ordinary, carry such a hefty price tag? The 1970 penny, minted in Denver, is one of the rarest coins in U.S. history, but only a small number of them are worth a fortune. You see, back in 1970, a mistake was made during the minting process, an error that has turned this penny into a sought-after treasure. But the catch? Most 1970 pennies aren't worth anything more than face value, unless you know how to spot the rare ones, and that's where the real value comes in. If you have one of these pennies with a specific flaw, you could be holding something worth up to $695,000 today. Yes, you heard that right, $695,000. Imagine the possibilities. A new house, luxury vacations, a retirement plan. It's all in your hands. But here's the thing, you need to know how to identify the right coin before it's too late. Now, let's get to the good stuff. You might be wondering, how do I know if my 1970 penny is worth a fortune? Let's break it down. The key to identifying a valuable 1970 penny lies in its unique feature. You see, a small group of these pennies were struck with a double die error, causing the number 7 on the obverse, the front side, to appear doubled. It's an incredibly rare mistake, but when found, it can make all the difference. Take a close look at the numbers and lettering. If the 7 in the date appears thicker or doubled, you've got yourself a winner. But wait, here's the kicker, this isn't something you'll notice at a glance. A standard 1970 penny could be worth just a couple of cents. But the moment you spot that double die error, the value skyrockets. These pennies, in mint condition, have sold for as much as $695,000 at auction.so. How do you make sure you don't miss this? First, don't just throw your pennies away. Every time you sift through a jar of loose change, take a moment to inspect each one closely. You never know, you might just find the key to your financial future hidden among those coins. And hey, if you're one of those people who's been throwing out old pennies because they're worthless, well, let's just say your future self might be shaking their head in regret. I mean, how embarrassing would it be if you found out you threw away a $500,000 penny and ended up going back to work at your 9-to-5 job? Yeah, not the dream we're going for. Now that you know what you're looking for, here's the real question: what do you do next? It's time to act fast, because these rare 1970 pennies are becoming harder and harder to find. The longer you wait, the fewer you'll be able to come across. The market for rare coins has been booming, and collectors are out in full force, willing to pay top dollar for these valuable pennies. And here's where the urgency kicks in. If you do find one of these rare 1970 pennies, you don't want to just sit on it. It's time to get it graded, authenticated, and sold. Coins in mint condition that are graded by trusted companies like PCGS or NGC can fetch higher prices when they hit the market.so. What's the next step? Get it appraised, get it graded, and then consider auctioning it off. You could see bids skyrocket. If you choose the right route, you're not just selling a penny, you're selling your ticket to a wealthy lifestyle. But here's the thing, this isn't just about making money. It's about changing your life. The 1970 penny isn't just a coin, it's an opportunity. An opportunity to achieve the kind of freedom you've always dreamed of. But what if you miss it? If you don't act now, if you don't take the time to search through your coins, the window could close. Someone else will find that fortune, and you'll be left with nothing but regrets. Are you ready to change your life? Or will you let this rare opportunity slip through your fingers? the power to change your life is in your hands, literally. All it takes is a little time, a little patience, and the knowledge to spot that one, rare, priceless penny. And who knows? You might just be the next person to walk away with a fortune. So, what are you waiting for? Get searching. Get serious. And start building the life you deserve today. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more valuable tips on how to turn your old coins into wealth. Because in the world of rare coins, every penny counts, but the right penny can make you rich. What if I told you that this rare penny, a 1967 Lincoln 1 cent, could be worth more than your car, your house, or even a vacation home? And, right now, it's fetching an astonishing $695,000 on the market. Yes, you heard that right. $695,000. Quick dramatic pause, but here's the catch: there's something extraordinary about this penny. It's missing something critical that makes it worth millions, and it could be sitting in your collection, right now. Let's rewind the clock for a moment. The year is 1967. Vietnam is in full swing, the country is going through a revolution of change, and yet, amidst the chaos, the US Mint released millions of pennies, just like they did every year. But, unbeknownst to anyone at the time, a handful of these pennies would be completely different from the rest. These were errors, mistakes that would go on to become incredibly rare and valuable. Cut to images of minting machines, pennies being struck, and error coins. But wait, what makes these pennies so special? It's not the year. It's not the design. No, it's something much more subtle, something so simple, you might overlook it entirely. The 1967 Lincoln penny, in particular, was supposed to have a mint mark. A tiny letter that signifies where it was made, either Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But some of these pennies, rare and elusive, were minted without that mark at all. Missing mint mark. Huge value. And therein lies the magic. You see, the absence of this mint mark turned out to be a rare flaw, an error that no one could predict at the time. At first, collectors didn't know what they had in their hands. But now, those few coins that escaped the mint without a mark have become the holy grail of penny collectors. Pause for effect. Imagine, just for a second, having this coin tucked away in your collection. It could be sitting there, forgotten. In a box, a drawer, or an old jar that you've been collecting for years. It might seem like just another penny, but it's not. It could be worth a fortune. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how rare are these coins? Well, buckle up because this is where the excitement really starts. While millions of pennies were minted in 1967, only a handful of them are believed to have been struck without the mint mark. Some experts estimate that less than 10 of these rare pennies exist today. Cut to close-up shots of rare coins being sold at auction, dramatic music intensifying. Just imagine owning one of these, your coin, worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Right now, a single 1967 Lincoln penny without a mint mark can fetch up to $695,000. That's right, nearly $700,000 for one small coin. Dramatic pause. But here's where it gets even more interesting: this number is not static. As time passes, and as fewer of these coins are found, their value only increases. Right now, demand for these error pennies is skyrocketing. Coin collectors, investors, and even the ultra-wealthy are bidding higher and higher to get their hands on one. Cut to footage of bidders at a coin auction, animated bidding numbers rising rapidly. So, are you ready to take the leap and cash in on this incredible opportunity? If you've got a 1967 Lincoln penny without a mint mark hiding in your collection, now is the time to act. But the clock is ticking. The music grows more intense as a countdown appears on the screen, subtly adding urgency. Here's where the story takes a twist: what happens if you don't act on this? What if that penny of yours just sits in that jar for another 20 years? Time, my friends, is your enemy when it comes to rare coins. Cut to a person holding a 1967 Lincoln penny, looking pensive. The camera zooms in on the coin with an air of mystery. Each day you wait, those rare pennies are slipping away from your grasp, either to savvy collectors or deep-pocketed investors who know exactly what they're looking for. If you don't make a move now, someone else will. They'll find the coin you missed. And just like that, the opportunity vanishes. Shift in music, more hopeful, yet still with an undercurrent of suspense. But let's not focus on what could go wrong. Let's talk about what could go right. You could sell that rare penny, change your life, and live the kind of lifestyle you've always dreamed of. Whether it's buying a new car, traveling the world, or retiring early, selling a rare coin like this could be your ticket. Cue a video of someone receiving a check for a rare coin, showing their excitement, taking a deep breath of relief as they walk away from the bank. This is more than just a coin. It's an opportunity. A rare moment in time that could set you on the path to financial freedom. The question is, will you seize it? Cliffhanger and call to action, 9:01 to 9:45, but here's the thing, there are still some collectors out there who haven't realized how valuable their coins are. What if you could find another 1967 penny, or maybe even something rarer than that? What's stopping you from becoming the next big winner in the world of rare coins? Don't miss out. If you want to know exactly how to spot these rare pennies and how to sell them for top dollar, hit that subscribe button, because we're about to reveal more secrets that could change your financial future. And remember, in the world of rare coins, timing is everything. Fade out with suspenseful music leading into the outro.